Welcome to our case study presentation. My name is Emma.
I'm Davis.
I'm Dylan.
And I'm Daniel.
We will be going over the background of the case, the central issue identification, issue resolution, best resolution, and conclusion. To first start off with the presentation about the background is to talk about Dr. Shao and the UMass Ophthalmology Department. Dr. Scow is born and raised in Israel, and her husband and four kids decided to move to the States so she can further her education in ophthalmology. Well, she then got a job with the faculty member in the college. After that, she then gained national attention for her innovation surgical writing articles in peer-reviewed journals and thriving clinical practices, and she also led research labs. To continue the background information on UMass, I will hand it over to Davis.
All right, now we're going to talk about the UMass system in the ophthalmology department. So it's one of the smaller departments, one of the smaller systems within UMass, and UMass systems consist of 4 hospitals and 1,000 plus inpatient beds. It provides medical care to people in Worcester, Massachusetts, trained medical students, and performed and published clinical research. The Dean of University of Massachusetts Medical School is Terrence Float, and the CEO of UMass is Eric Dixon. The central issue is that the ophthalmology department had a high wait time to see patients. They had a lack of supplies and equipment and informal staffing plans, which resulted in inefficient use of space and personnel, leading to a possible closing of the department. Now I'm going to pass it off to Dylan with issue resolutions.
Okay, so option one is early changes. When Dr. Shaw first got into her new role, she might have came across as arrogant to all of the employees that were already working there with all of the different changes she tried to implement right away. So I propose making small changes that can lead to larger changes down the line, such as slowly raising employees' wages and giving them the bonuses that she ended up doing 6 months later. Having open communication with new and old employees is going to be key to make sure that the hospital staff can thrive. And then finding ways to solve equipment and time issues, as that was their largest issue. Option two is to open a dialogue. Since she came there bringing in not very many new staff, a lot of the staff was overlaid from the previous administration. So they might have found her coming off as a bit too bossy. So instead of proposing all of the demands she did right away, meet with the employees one on one, get to know them, ask what works well and what doesn't work well, and then the big thing is trying to increase the patient satisfaction scores and also to help increase employee morale and motivation so that way they're more inclined to accept her new ideas. So option three is to deploy a vision, have a clear 90-day window with priorities that can lead to open waves of communication so that way pressure is put on success, and with that, you'd be able to build consistency around your authority. All right, and I'll pass it over to Daniel now to talk through ways to resolve.
Okay, so to optimize the program, I think the best option that Dylan gave us out of the three is to enact quick changes in a failing program so that it resolves the broken cycle. So right off the bat, when we get introduced to Dr. Shaw, we see that when she becomes a director, she goes into her office and sees that her office is outdated. She needs to be a leader. She needs to feel confident. And you have to start strong by having a confident office space as well. So, in the very start, she needs to change that. And it looks like a small, but almost um, it's a minuscule problem in the grand scheme of things, but it just starts to break the cycle that the ophthalmology program was in. So The next thing that Dr. Shaw wanted to do is get a residency program, which he did not have started in the ophthalmology department. And this is very important because all of the medical schools around them, such as Boston, had this program and they saw greater returns for the staff that they had. Um, and a lot of the competitors that were even further away for people that were living near UMass, such as Boston School of Medicine, they would go there instead because the school was just understaffed and it had long wait times. So Dr. Shaw knew this, and a lot of the employees didn't really agree with Dr. Shaw's um, ideas because with her military program, she kind of made everybody feel like a cog in some sort of way. And you have your role in the office space. So the next thing that she wanted everybody to do is to start doing uh, more consulting work because they only had one person doing consulting jobs for, let's say, people that come in for just a daily checkup. It would take longer for everybody to get daily checkups, and that is the most common sort of interaction that you will have with medical customers. So they start to take in more patients in the beginning and they start to try to do more surgeries over time. She sets a goal instead of the uh, low quota that they were hitting. So around like 11 major surgeries every month, I think they would start to focus and prioritize on using the staff that they would have and bring out more returns for their hospital. Um, and the other solutions, while they are important, I think that this one is the most important just because it's such a the program is in such a bad state and it is like they mentioned in the case study, she only had probably a year and nobody really believed her except for Dr. Float, who saw Dr. Float saw the opportunity that Dr. Shaw could bring to the ophthalmology department. That's why Dr. Float made Dr. Shaw the chair of the ophthalmology department. So in conclusion, it is vital to be able to use what is handed to you with efficiency. And when Dr. Shaw first came in to the program, she didn't have a lot to work with. And when you come from that military background, it is pretty common for you to be shorthanded sometimes, and you have to deal with a lot of work. And a lot of these employees, they weren't too fond of the idea of how much they would have to change to make this a viable operation. Though with the hard work that they put in, they saw the returns that they were looking for, and the changes came with the hard work after she came into being the director of the ophthalmology um, department. Um, the change in leadership made the difference between success and failure. So, but when we first look at Dr. Shaw getting into the program, nobody really believed in her. They saw this program being shut down within a year. They just didn't find the returns that they were looking for. I mean, at the end of the day, while it is, a medical school, they also need to have returns. Like it's an investment. And after the time that she had, um, the department only grew and it saw income for the foreseeable future. And not everyone will see eye to eye on visions that are implemented in the beginning of the process when you first change them. So again, when Dr. Shaw first came in, a lot of the staff did not really hop on board with her ideas. And this is very important because it shows you that not everything works out in the beginning like it should. And a lot of people will doubt you because you are subjected to change and you don't like change. People naturally don't like the way change feels in general because it's comfortable and they got paid. They were not incentivized to work any harder. And, changing that format of how workers should be incentivized allowed the ophthalmology department to grow and really brought out the best of the staff that she was handed to her. Thank you for joining us today for our discussion over the case study.